All right, so you're prepping for an optical engineer interview. Well, that means you're stepping into a world where light bends to your will. Pretty cool, right?
Totally.
We've got your RoleCatcher resources right here with us, the career guide, the interview guide,
Yeah.
and even some really cool insights into how their AI can help you stand out. So think of us as your interview prep partners. We're here to make sure you absolutely nail this.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating is how optical engineering is just exploding across all these different industries. Aerospace,
Yeah.
healthcare, even telecommunications, you name it. So knowing how to present yourself, really knowing how to showcase your skills and your passion, that's key, and these RoleCatcher resources are spot on for that.
Okay, let's dive right in then. First up from the RoleCatcher interview guide. What inspired you to pursue a career in optical engineering? Seems pretty basic at first glance,
Yeah, exactly.
but it's really your chance to shine.
Absolutely. Think back to what first sparked that passion for you. Was it learning about Snell's law, how light bends through different materials? Or maybe you were captivated by the just intricate design of microscopes and telescopes. It's all about showcasing those aha moments, those sparks of fascination that drew you to this field.
Like telling a mini story. Your origin story as an optical engineer. Now, this could easily lead to a follow-up question like, what area of optical engineering excites you the most and why?
Oh.
So have an answer ready.
Yeah.
Something that connect your passions to specific areas, like laser technology, fiber optics, imaging systems, things like that.
Yeah, that's a great point. Showing that you've thought about, your niche within this massive field, it really demonstrates a genuine interest and direction too. Interviewers, they're not just looking for passion, they're also looking for a focused mindset.
Right. Okay. Next question from the guide. What do you consider to be the most important skills for an optical engineer to possess?
This one's a bit trickier, I think. It is. You need a solid balance. Start with those must-have technical skills. Proficiency in optical design software, maybe Zemax or Code V, and of course a deep understanding of optical principles. Then you got to layer in those crucial soft skills, critical thinking, problem solving, and that ability to just adapt to new challenges.
And don't forget the power of communication. The RoleCatcher Career Guide actually emphasizes this, being able to explain those complex technical concepts, but explaining them clearly to colleagues and clients. That's pure gold. Now, I'm curious, how does RoleCatcher's AI factor into prepping for a question like this?
Oh, that's where it gets really cool. Their AI can actually analyze job descriptions, and it can identify those specific skills that the employer is prioritizing. So you can tailor your answer, hit those keywords, and demonstrate that you've got exactly what they're looking for. It's like having a personalized cheat sheet for each interview.
So you're not just giving a generic answer. You're speaking directly to their needs. That's brilliant. Okay, moving on to question 3. How do you stay up to date with the latest advancements in optical engineering technology? This one just screams lifelong learner, right?
Yeah, it does. Go beyond just reading journals. Mention specific conferences you've attended, like SPI Photonics West or SEAL-EO. Highlight memberships in organizations like OSA, that's the Optical Society of America, or SPIE, the International Society for Optics and Photonics. These show a real commitment to the field.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to name specific publications or online forums you follow. Anything that shows you're really plugged into the latest trends and discussions. Now let's think about follow-up questions, they might ask.
Sure.
What emerging trend in optics excites you the most? Have an answer ready that showcases your curiosity, that forward-thinking mindset.
Exactly. And to really nail this one, think about how that trend connects to your own career goals. It shows you're not just passively absorbing information, you're actively seeking to contribute to the field's advancement.
All right. Now this next one is a classic. Can you describe a time when you had to troubleshoot an optical system that wasn't working as intended? Question 10 on the list. This is your chance to be the optical detective.
I love that.
Right.
Think of a specific project where you encountered a real head scratcher. Maybe a laser wasn't aligning properly or an image was distorted. Walk them through your thought process. How did you isolate the problem? What tools did you use?
And remember, it's not just about finding the solution. It's about showcasing those problem-solving skills. Did you have to dive deep into technical manuals, consult with colleagues, or maybe even use simulation software to model different scenarios?
Yeah, the interviewer wants to see your analytical approach and your persistence too. And honestly, don't be afraid to admit if the solution wasn't immediately obvious. Some of the best learning experiences come from those tough, iterative troubleshooting processes.
Definitely. Now, this could easily lead to a follow-up like, what's the most challenging technical problem you've ever faced in optical engineering? And how did you overcome it? Have a story ready that demonstrates your expertise and resilience.
And don't forget to highlight what you learned from the experience. Even if the initial solution wasn't perfect, showcasing your ability to adapt and refine your approach. That's super valuable.
Absolutely. All right, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about teamwork. Questions 6 and 7 in the guide. How do you ensure the quality of your work? And how do you approach collaboration? Optical engineering is rarely a solo act.
Right. Emphasize your meticulous approach to testing and validation. Your attention to detail and documentation. Precision matters in this field. But also, you want to showcase those communication skills. Can you explain your work clearly to colleagues from different backgrounds? Do you actively seek feedback and incorporate different perspectives?
They might even ask a follow-up question like, tell me about a time you had to collaborate with a team on a complex optical project. What were the challenges? And how did you contribute to the team's success?
Have a specific project in mind where you can really showcase your collaborative strengths.
Yeah, and think about the different roles involved. Were there other engineers, technicians, maybe even clients, highlighting your ability to navigate those different personalities and communication styles? That shows a lot of maturity.
Okay, let's pause here for a moment. We've covered a lot of ground already. And I think it's time to bring in RoleCatcher's AI again.
Absolutely. Remember, this AI isn't just about prepping for specific questions. It can also analyze your CV or resume, identify potential gaps in your skills based on job descriptions, and even offer suggestions for improvement.
It's like having a personalized career coach in your pocket,
Yeah.
constantly working to make sure you're presenting your best self to potential employers.
Yeah, and it goes beyond just generic advice. This AI is tailored to the specific nuances of optical engineering, which can be a huge advantage in such a competitive job market. So before we move on to the next batch of questions, I want to encourage you to think about how you can use RoleCatcher's AI to fine-tune your approach. It might just be the secret weapon that helps you land that dream job in optical engineering.
Totally agree. Now let's dive back into those RoleCatcher interview questions and continue exploring how to craft winning responses. Responses that showcase your skills and passion for this fascinating field.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so let's tackle question 4 from the RoleCatcher interview guide. How do you approach problem solving in your work as an optical engineer? This one's all about giving the interviewer a glimpse into how you think analytically.
Yeah, it's like walking them through your mental toolbox, showing them the strategies and techniques you use to, crack those optical codes.
Exactly. A great way to structure your answer is using the STAR method: situation, task, action, result. So describe a specific situation where you encountered a problem. Explain what your task was in addressing it, outline the actions you took, and finally share the results you achieved.
The STAR method is like a storytelling framework for showcasing your problem-solving skills. It keeps your answer concise and focused, which interviewers really appreciate. Speaking of real-world examples, let's move on to question 5. Can you describe a particularly challenging project you worked on as an optical engineer?
This is where you pull out a project that really pushed your boundaries, something that required you to dig deep into your technical knowledge, and maybe even venture outside your comfort zone a little bit.
And don't be shy about the details. Talk about the specific technical challenges you faced, the decisions you made, the lessons you learned along the way. The interviewer wants to see how you handle pressure and how you adapt to those unexpected twists and turns.
Right. It's not about presenting a perfect success story. It's about demonstrating your growth mindset and your ability to learn from both triumphs and setbacks. Now, they might follow up with something like, what did you learn from that experience that you applied to future projects? So reflect on the takeaways and how they shaped your approach.
That's a great point. It shows you're constantly evolving as an engineer, learning from every challenge, and using those lessons to improve your craft. Now let's shift gears slightly and talk about safety. Question 8 in the guide. How do you ensure that the optical systems you design meet safety standards and regulations?
Yeah. Safety is paramount in optical engineering, especially when dealing with lasers and other potentially hazardous components. This is where your knowledge of industry standards like ANSI Z136 and IEC 6082 and 5, that's where it really shines.
Definitely mention any relevant certifications you hold, like Certified Laser Safety Officer, CLSO, as the RoleCatcher Career Guide suggests. It demonstrates a commitment to best practices and responsible engineering. And be prepared for a follow-up question like, can you describe a situation where you had to identify and mitigate a safety risk related to an optical system? Have a concrete example ready, something that showcases your proactive approach to safety.
It's all about demonstrating that you don't just design for functionality. You also design for the well-being of those who will interact with your creations. Now let's dive back into optimization. Question 9 asks, how do you approach the optimization of optical systems for maximum efficiency?
This is where you showcase your ability to not just design a system,
Yeah.
but to make it really sing, to squeeze every bit of performance out of it.
Yeah. The RoleCatcher Career Guide mentions simulation tools and optimization algorithms. So definitely highlight your expertise in those areas. But go beyond just listing tools. Give a specific example.
Right. Imagine you're designing a lens for a high-power telescope.
Yeah.
You could talk about using software like Zmax to simulate how light travels through the lens, identifying areas where distortion might occur. Then you could explain how you used optimization algorithms to tweak the lens curvature, minimizing those distortions, and achieving crystal clear images.
That's a great example. It paints a clear picture of your process, and it demonstrates your ability to think critically and creatively about optimization. A potential follow-up could be, what are some trade-offs you consider when optimizing an optical system? End quote. This digs deeper into your understanding of balancing factors like performance, costs, and manufacturability.
It's like a chess game. You're strategically thinking several moves ahead, considering all the variables, and making informed decisions to achieve the best possible outcome. Now, let's not forget the importance of staying current in this rapidly evolving field. Question 3 from the guide. How do you stay up to date with the latest advancements in optical engineering technology? Here's a recurring theme, and it's crucial to address it thoroughly.
You're absolutely right. We touched on this earlier.
Yeah.
But it's worth revisiting. Think about specific online forums or communities you engage with. Maybe LinkedIn groups dedicated to optical engineering, or specialized online courses you've taken. These demonstrate a proactive approach to professional development.
And remember, they might ask, what's the most exciting recent advancement you've learned about? Be prepared to talk about a specific breakthrough or technology that's captured your attention. It shows you're not just keeping up, but actively seeking inspiration and knowledge.
And it allows you to connect those advancements back to your own career aspirations. It shows you're thinking about how these new developments might shape the future of the field and your place within it.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to circle back to RoleCatcher's AI-powered tools one last time. I know we've mentioned it throughout this deep dive, but I think it's worth emphasizing how valuable it can be, especially for those tricky behavioral questions. Like, tell me about a time you failed, or describe a situation where you had to deal with a difficult colleague.
Yeah, those behavior questions can be tough to navigate because they require you to draw on specific experiences and present them in a way that highlights your strengths and learning opportunities.
Exactly. And that's where RoleCatcher's AI can really shine. Their AI can analyze your past experiences, help you identify relevant stories, and even provide feedback on your delivery to ensure you're conveying the right message.
It's like having a personal storytelling coach, helping you craft compelling narratives that resonate with interviewers and showcase your soft skills in action. So don't underestimate the power of this technology. It can be a real game changer when it comes to nailing those behavioral interview questions.
Okay, I think we've covered a lot of ground here. We've tackled some of the toughest questions from the RoleCatcher Interview Guide, explored strategies for crafting winning responses, and even sprinkled in some career insights from the RoleCatcher Career Guide. But there's one more critical element we need to discuss before you head into that interview room, and that's how RoleCatcher can help you get noticed by the right people. It's not just about acing the interview. It's about getting your foot in the door.
Exactly. Their platform goes beyond just interview prep. It connects you with potential employers who are actively seeking optical engineers, engineers with your specific skill set.
So it's not just about prepping for the questions. It's about putting yourself out there, highlighting your expertise, and letting those opportunities come to you.
Right. Think of it as a proactive approach to career building. You're not just waiting for the perfect job to appear. You're actively shaping your career trajectory by showcasing your skills and connecting with the right people.
Well, let's take a step back for a second and look at the bigger picture here. You're not just prepping for an interview. You're stepping into a career that's at the forefront of innovation.
It really is.
I mean, optical engineering is shaping the future in so many ways.
Absolutely. From advancements in medical imaging to the development of self-driving cars, the possibilities are pretty mind-boggling.
It's a field where you can truly make a difference, contributing to technologies that have the potential to improve lives and push the boundaries of human ingenuity.
Couldn't agree more.
So as you go into that interview, remember to let that passion shine through. Showcase your deep understanding of optical principles, your problem-solving skills, your collaborative spirit.
Yeah, all of that.
And don't forget to leverage the power of RoleCatcher. Their resources and AI-powered tools are designed to give you that extra edge, helping you not just prepare for the interview, but land that dream job in optical engineering.
And here's something to think about as you continue on your journey. What emerging trend in optics excites you the most? And how do you see yourself contributing to it? Keep that curiosity burning bright, and you'll illuminate any interview room you walk into.
You're not just entering a career, you're entering a world of possibilities where you can bend light to your will and shape the future with your expertise. Good luck out there.